What is going on, guys? It's your boy Scotty. I am back. The A-League is back. Let's go. So basically, it's been a long time since I've done a sit-down video, and it's also been a long time since we've seen football in the A-League in Australia in general. Like, we've just seen that the A-League has been announced. I am a little bit late to it, so I apologize for that. But it is 16th of July is basically when we have been told that the A-League is going to resume. It's been a long time coming. 4 months basically since the Roars played the last game, which actually was like, let me have a quick look. The 20th of March is the last time we played a game, and that was against Newcastle. It was the first game and the only game we actually played behind closed doors. And luckily enough, the restrictions have eased, and football is going to be back. And in Queensland anyway, it's 25,000 or 50% of a stadium. So, I mean, the rule was never going to really get 25,000 in the stadium anyway, but we'll basically get half of Seabus, because our first game will be against Adelaide United on the 19th of July at 7:30 p.m. at Seabus Stadium. It's the only Queensland game that we will have, which is unfortunate, but in saying that, the restrictions have eased in some states, and other states it's actually been pushed down harder. So Melbourne Victory, as most of you guys probably know, in Melbourne anyway, they've got a really bad case of coronavirus, come back a second wave, and every single Melbourne team, whether it be the Melbourne Storm, Melbourne Victory, Western United, Melbourne City, have all moved either to, in the Storm's case in the NRL, to Queensland and Sunshine Coast. They're actually playing out of, training out of there, but probably playing out of Suncorp. But in the A-League's case, all the Melbourne teams there have moved up to Sydney, New South Wales and Sydney and that area and stuff like that as well. Same with Adelaide. No games we played in Adelaide, no games we played in Perth, no games we played in New Zealand. So basically, it's a New South Wales hub, which is what they first thought that could happen. But we have one game in Queensland, so we're the outlier there. So the only time we will get to see the Raw play in our own state will be against Adelaide United on the Sunday, the 19th of July. It is a bit of a weird kickoff time, being a Sunday at 7:30, but there is only one game per night, per day, and it is only going to be like one main game, so they're all at like 7:30, so that's why it's a prime time kickoff time for the TV revenue, I guess. But in fact, the fact that all the games are like 6 o'clock to 7:30, there's no afternoon games, it's not too bad. But in saying that, yeah, I'd probably prefer it to be an afternoon game, especially down in Gold Coast with people having to get up to go to work in the next morning. It may not get as many fans as would have hoped. So basically, it's going to be 27 games in 28 days. So there's going to be a game every single day from the 27th of, the 16th of July through to Wednesday 12th, apart from one day. So there's one day off, which is the Wednesday the 29th of July, where everyone's going to take a breather, be like, all right, there's no A-League tonight. We can come and we can have a relaxing time. We can watch a movie or something instead of the A-League. But in saying that, it's going to be brilliant to see the football being back. We will also have final series, so on the 15th of August, the final series will start, and obviously that's like 4th versus 5th, 2nd versus 3rd. Winners play off against the first place eventually, I guess, in the grand final, 23rd of August. I'm not really 100% sure how it fully works, but we will have final series. We will have the top 6 for now. But for next season, who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to quickly just chat about what's going to happen for next season. So we have seen the deal with Foxtel, A-League going back and forth with Foxtel, trying to work out a deal. Originally, I think when they agreed on a deal a while ago, it was $57 million that they paid for the A-League. With everything coronavirus and the A-League going on a decline for the last few years, basically they sent an offer out for $11 million per season, which was ridiculous, coming down from a $57 million offer. A-League, FFA, Foxtel have come up to a deal for the end of this season and next season with $23 million. So, actually no, it's $32 million, sorry, isn't it? Yeah, $32 million. So, which is not too bad, because I think A-League, AFL and NRL are on the same deal with Foxtel, which is alright. It's a good thing to finally get a deal done with the A-League, with Foxtel, because at one stage it didn't even look like we're having a broadcast deal for the rest of the season, which was going to be absolutely terrible. In saying that, it might not be a bad thing in the future, because we might be able to go to something like an Optus Sport, FA TV, or a free-to-air, or something like that. I'll talk about that in a bit, but basically we've got a new deal for the A-League for the end of this season and next season. And next season's where it's different. So basically, I think we normally go through from, let me have a quick look. So the A-League basically goes through generally from August through to, what time does it go? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Like about March, isn't it? Like March or April we finish our season. So instead of doing it through like the summer months where it's hotter, we're going to start in the summer months, which is December, and finish in June, which is going to be great because it's going to align, which I've done the video with us going to winter, the A-League going to winter. It's got its positives and negatives, and I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, it's going to be the last year where we have sort of a 2020 and a 2021 season. The season after that will be just a 2022 season. So eventually they're looking at moving it and aligning everything with the state leagues, the MPLs, everyone's federations and stuff like that. And it's basically going to be a winter league. So it's going to be, there's positives and negatives. So basically, I did a post on Facebook and lots of different things as well, like on Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. I basically put my thoughts and everything about the winter switch and stuff, and how scared I am for the A-League, where it could actually kill it off like the NSL, or it could make it see it thrive. So basically, I'll start off with some of the negatives. So obviously, the main one is you're fighting against other codes, the NRL, the AFL, the Super Rugby. Everything is basically done at that same time. So saying that, it's going to be hard to get broadcast deals. It's going to be hard to get people at the games. It's going to be hard to actually have field availability. Obviously, the biggest stadiums is where the NRL, AFL are going to play at. But it could be a good thing, because we did see a lot of teams play out of Leichhardt, at Dolphin stadiums, Cogra, the smaller stadiums getting more use. We might actually see more boutique stadiums getting used with the A-League with the winter switch. So it could be decent. It might be alright for that case anyway. But in the saying that, in lining up with the state leagues, it's going to be good eventually. If we do have a second division, you can have a promotion or relegation, which will be good. But in saying that, with people like me that play on the weekends, play with Football Brisbane, people that play Football Queensland, people that play their state leagues, their games, generally for senior games anyway, their games are going to be at similar times. So they're going to have to either pick to go to their own game, or go to the Raw game, go to the A-League game, go to whoever. It's going to put some of the fans that would love to go to games and be like, oh yeah, my season's sort of not really on at this time, I can go to a game. And it sort of worked well for ages. But in saying that, NRL teams, they don't really have the same issue with that as well. They still get fans across the door, and so it's not going to be too bad of a deal. It's obviously for me, it's going to be a bit harder with having playing at the same time, having to try to decide which game to go to. Maybe you're not going to be able to go to every game, because I might have a game on a Friday night, but the game might be on a Saturday, so I might be able to go to then. But it's sort of like a bit of a toss and turn. It might be a little bit harder in that case, but in saying that, there's also probably going to be less coverage during the other codes. We already get like pretty poor coverage anyway, but with all the other codes going around, A-League sort of looked at as being maybe the third sport in Australia, probably above Super Rugby, but below the NRL and the AFL. So what good can come from this is basically the alignment with the NPL and the grassroots. So you can have promotion relegation eventually with the second division. We'll also have it in cooler times, so we won't have to have, like in Adelaide, I know they had like 40-degree games, stuff like that, where they had to have drinks breaks. And it's not even like healthy for players to be able to play out in that heat. So having a games at cooler times, it will make the game like better. You see overseas where obviously the players are better overseas, but having it at a cooler time, I know winter anyway, when I'm playing and stuff like that, training, I'm not feeling as sweaty, I'm not feeling as hot. Like I might have a jumper on, I might take it off though, but I'm feeling a lot better in the legs. So I think we'll get a lot better gameplay for people to watch at home generally, or it will be a better game to watch in general. But in saying that, as many people probably won't go to the games, which might be a little bit difficult there. So this is going to be definitely a bit of a growing period as to what's going to happen with the A-League. Will it thrive? Will it not? So it also is different time to when the Premier League is on. So it's off season. So we might have people that go, I really want to watch football. Where's football on? And then they find out there's A-League on, and even though they might not be a fan of the A-League, they might be like, football is football, I want to watch this. And we might get a few fans from overseas. So that is something there. But we will align ourselves with the Asian Confederation, so we won't be as disadvantaged in the ACL. And so obviously we've also got the smaller stadiums, for I said before, which will be the better atmosphere, which will be our main stadium. So I think even without the switch, I think the A-League and the Raw, we're looking at moving more games to Dolphins next season. That's not confirmed, that's just what I'm thinking, because we've seen how good it's been at Dolphin Stadium with a few games we did get here this year. So yeah, so it will be great to see that eventually happen. But I will have to talk about something quickly. Robbie Fowler, unfortunately, has left the Raw. For me, he's a great coach. Tony Grant as well gave me a lot of chances to give me a bit of knowledge to him as well. Like I met him a few times, came down to training ground a few times, met him, Tony Grant, and the players. Gave him a bit of knowledge that I had. He gave me a bit of knowledge that he had. And I think we sort of bounced ideas off each other and had a bit of a chat there and just enjoyed each other's company. And hopefully we can meet again one day and have a bit more of a chat. But good luck to Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant wherever their future in coaching leads them. But we will see Darren Davies and Warren Moon take over the rest of the season. We don't know what's going to happen next season, but Warren Moon is the academy coach, if you know that. Also played for the Raw back in the day. Darren Davies, for the second year in a row, has to take over the team, which he had to do for Aloisi last year. And everyone says, I've seen a few people saying that a lot of people going, yeah, I would love to see that. There are a few people going, Darren Davies doesn't really have a very good coaching record when you look at the record from John Aloisi. But in saying that, John Aloisi he didn't really have a good team at the end of the season, and Darren Davies just had to basically put people on the park with Robbie Fowler. He's been alongside him. We've got a good team. We're in a good stead. We're sitting fourth right now, even though some of the teams might jump us with more games in hand. But in saying that, I'm very excited to see Warren Moon and Darren Davies take over the team the rest of the season, and excited to see what happens in the future, because they are going to go with a local coach, which is going to be great. The likes of Ben Khan is up there with one of the favourites as well. Warren Moon, Darren Davies might even take over the role, which I would love to see as well. But basically, good luck to Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant in the future. Thank you for the what am I trying to say? Thank you for all the opportunities that you gave me and the experience that you gave me to actually meet you and the players, and also just having a chat. So thank you for all you've done to me, and good luck in the future. And hopefully Darren Davies, and I've met Darren Davies before. He's an absolutely great man and a great coach. And I haven't met Warren Moon properly yet. I only just chatted to him a little bit online. But he looks like he knows what he's doing, and he's gonna basically play the kids, or not necessarily play the kids, but he knows what he's doing, and he's got that youth academy vibe. So we might see a few more younger players. I'm seeing through Robbie Fowler and stuff come through the ranks and show us what they can do. And I'm a bit rusty because it has been a little bit since I've done a video, but bear with me, guys. Do we have to have a chat about anything else here? Well, that's the main things when it comes to the rule. I don't really know what the deal is. Let me just put my setup a little bit. I don't really know what the deal is with some of the players coming back. I think everyone is back. We didn't have anyone overseas, which is good, apart from Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant. Everyone stayed over here. Compared to maybe the likes of Davila from Wellington Phoenix went over to Mexico, back to his family because his wife gave birth. Basically, when the coronavirus thing was going to happen, if the season was going to continue, he was going to stay here, which was absolutely crazy for him to think of. But in saying that, his commitment is here, so it's good to see him staying, because Wellington Phoenix definitely need him because he's a brilliant player. But something else I want to talk about is we're going to host the Women's World Cup in 2023 as one with Australia and New Zealand. We won the bid Friday morning. What day was it? It was Friday morning, last Friday. So it would have been bear with me, the 26th of June. What a date. I actually was working the day before, went home sick, so I was in bed, but I woke up to it at like 5 a.m. of the news. I was wanting to stay out, but I just fell asleep because I was sick. And I woke up to the news. I even had a tear in my eye when I saw the video of them celebrating, like Alana Kennedy, Steph Catley, and all that, jumping up, celebrating. James Johnson, I even saw him go for a little elbow, and the guy next to him was like, "No, we're not doing elbow, get in here." And everything that we worked for so hard for Jacinta overseas, the New Zealand Prime Minister, and Scott Morrison, and the full Australian government, all the backing of everyone got behind it, and it was between us and Colombia in the end. And unfortunately enough, every single Euro vote voted for Colombia, which I think is a bit rough, but in the end, it ended up being, we actually were clear winners, so we're going to see a lot more games. It's going to be amazing for the game in Australia and worldwide for people to come and see, because it's going to be good for the economy, because a lot of people are going to travel here, and people go, it's only women's. It's just like, it's a World Cup. Everyone's going to get behind it. Families, fans from others overseas is going to come behind it. So we're going to get so much money from it. But the main thing is we're going to get so much exposure from overseas. Football over here is going to grow. We're already the most participated sport in Australia, but it's only going to bring more people to want to play. It's going to bring females. It's going to give the females a reason to be like, oh my god, these girls here, they're representing Australia. We've got a world game here. I actually like playing football. Maybe I'm going to join a team, and we might see a few more people coming through and stuff like that. It's going to be great for the game in Australia. It's going to show off what we could do. And eventually, I did see 2030, James Johnson is going to have a look to try to maybe get a men's big going, because depending on how well the Australian New Zealand World Cup goes, we might actually see teams come here and be like, this is actually really good. We might actually want to see another World Cup here as well. So I did hear also something saying in the last World Cup they had, the Women's World Cup, they basically didn't have hub cities. So they had the American team and the Australian team in the same hotel, and you'd have all the American teams celebrating after a win, and then you have the Australians being like, oh, this is pretty shit. Like, we just lost the game here. We have to put up with these Americans here. So every single team will be playing out of that hub, depending where you are moving around. So it's going to be great. It's going to be 2023. It's going to be amazing for the Matildas, the football in general in Australia, and also just the world to see what Australia and New Zealand has to offer football-wise, as well as just in general for the countries. Like, it's two beautiful countries that we live in. Like, obviously I live in Australia, but my dad's from New Zealand, so I can preach that New Zealand's a beautiful country as well. And in the rise of football and stuff, we're all moving up in a way. Hopefully, we were on a decline, and basically with the new few things coming around here, it looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting time for the next few years with Australian football. We did also see, where was it? It was here quickly. The FFA released the 11 principles discussion paperwork targeting the future in Australia. So basically, I'll put a link in the description so you can quickly have a read of it when you want. But basically, they talk about youth development and increasing game time, also getting just world-class facilities, and hopefully just pushing up the Australian football standard to a better standard than what it is now, and making it like a better game to watch, better game to go to, and a better experience all up. So I'll put that in the description where you can see that as well. I might even just put a photo up on the screen here. I'm just reading up some of the comments over here so you can read it while I'm actually talking. But in saying that, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous to see how it's going to go next season. But I am excited so much to see the A-League back and football back in Australia. It's not far off now. I think we're only a couple of weeks away. What's today? The 4th of July. So we're only basically like 2 weeks away. Sorry. So it's not going to be long. I'm so excited. Also, you might be able to see I'm a bit more lit up now. I've got a ring light arrived, and I've got a microphone coming as well. So with coronavirus, it should have been here ages ago. But I am looking at doing some podcasts and also some interviews with people like footballers, NPL players, Fox Sports commentators, just to name a few. So there's big things coming to the channel. I just got to wait for that microphone to come, and then eventually we'll have a few more videos coming up on this channel. I know a lot of you guys like my discussion points and stuff like that, and you sort of share the same views as me, but some of you may not. So if you don't share the same views as me, let me know why. If you think I'll quickly just chat. I did a poll and I put it on a lot of pages, whether it be CAF, whether it be Brisbane Roar Supporters Federation, or not Supporters Federation, Brisbane Roar Supporters Club, South East Queensland Football. A lot of people voted for winter and they thought the winter would be better, but not a lot of people commented about why winter will be better. Everyone that commented basically said why summer will be better, and why winter's going to kill the game if we do go to that. So it's weird. Like I think something definitely needs to change. I think the idea of bringing them in line with the Asia Federation, the state league and stuff like that will be good, because we will eventually be able to get more teams. We'll eventually be able to get a promotion relegation, which every single league around the world has their second division, third division stuff playing at the same time. So it makes sense, but in saying that, if the NRL and the AFL weren't a thing, it's pretty obvious that it would work well. But the fact that we're having to verse the codes, and the fact that we may not get as many fans around to the games because of the fact that they have to choose between those two, and also their own games. Let me know what you think in the comments, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook group or wherever you see this video, what you think. Also, what you think about the Australia-New Zealand bid, as we're going to get the As One World Cup 2023. Absolutely brilliant scenes for us in the world. And also what you think about the A-League, the Roar's managerial changes with Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant going. Do you think Darren Davies and Warren Moon will be the best for the job? I do think so. And who else do you think possibly could be up there with some of the managers that we might get? Bear with me, guys. It was a bit rusty, but I hope you did enjoy this video. Next few videos will be a lot more streamlined. It's just been a little bit since I've missed out on watching some videos and uploading some videos. See, I'm rusty, but bear with me, guys. The next video will probably be more streamlined, better, and I'll be able to get back used to it. But we've got a ring light. Hopefully next video I'll have a mic, and the videos will keep getting better and better. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.